So today is the last day before we go on our travels, and you'll be seeing me inshallah in the videos, but I wanted to take you today on through the house of the last things I'm doing to prep for Ramadan and give you 5 power moves that you could do right now to get yourself together if you're feeling out of sorts, but also at the same time in teeny small ways to get yourself a little prep for Ramadan without a lot of effort. All right, let's go. Let's talk really quick about the first thing you can do. But before that, I want to say this message about Ramadan. Ramadan is a time to reap, not to sow. That's what I said in the intro. And here's the thing. A lot of people, they stop doing everything bad in Ramadan and they don't do it before, like haram stuff, right? Or they say, I've been neglecting stuff, but the first day of Ramadan, I'm going to get that together. That is not the way the Prophet did it. That is not the way the Sahaba did it. So let's not make that our sunnah. A'udhu billah, it is not. So the first thing is Quran. Let's think about if you left the Quran this whole time, alhamdulillah, may Allah, forgive us for what we did, but we want to get it back on track. So at least one ayat a day. Just do that. If you're a person who's already doing one ayat a day, do 5. And the next week, do 3 more and 3 more or 3, like something incremental, right? And the last one is, if you feel like you're a pretty good Quran reciter, then you're doing memorization kind of frequently every day, every week, increase it, right? If you're doing 1 or 2 pages, do 3 or 4. As we get more and more and more towards Ramadan, you're going to find it's closer and closer. We're going to get used to increasing as opposed to just kind of hitting ourselves with so much and feeling overwhelmed and giving up. Make sense? All right, next tip. So the next one I wanted to remind you of that I remind myself of first is the benefit of all of the bad that we might need to get out of our life. It could be somebody you're following on Instagram right now, maybe someone you're following on YouTube. It could be somebody that you are shouldn't be talking to, texting, Allahu A'lam what it is, but starting to let those things go now, super important. If it is binge watching Netflix, it is praying late all the time, getting rid of those things that you shouldn't be doing now. Why do I say that? Well, there was this amazing sheikh, he had given this advice. Have you ever picked up your phone when you're about to pray, or maybe you're talking and then, it's time to pray. You put it down. Or you're watching something on your phone and then you realize it's time for salah. You put it down. What's the problem with that? Right after salah starts, your head is already still on the phone. It's still there because you were just on it. The human body can't just stop something immediately. So maybe it takes you a couple minutes to get focused on salah. But guess what? By then, salah is over. It's only a couple minutes. And then we say, why didn't I have khushu' in salah? Why didn't I have focus? Come on, guys. There's a reason, right? So playing with our phone, doing things like that, it's something we want to kind of slow down a bit. And maybe you're going to unfollow people, whatever you're doing, clean up house. But my tip number 2, power move, is slowly kind of wean out the things that you shouldn't be doing now, not right before Ramadan. So you get used to not having them and you're not stuck on craving them as soon as Ramadan starts. Make sense? All right, next tip. All right, I thought I'd move into the kitchen for this one. My tip for you for this one is to start eating 30 minutes later a day, every day. Usually if I eat at 9, I'll start eating at 9:30. Same thing with coffee, I will delay it. Because one of the horrible things when you're a coffee drinker or you're somebody who's used to driving into work and taking your food with you is when all of a sudden you have to just stop eating and then it's a shock to the body. So what I always do is I eat about 30 minutes later every day or drink my coffee about 30 minutes later every day. And what that allows me to do is give my body time to ease into eating later, if that makes sense. So by the time Ramadan comes, if I start now, I probably will almost like eat breakfast so late, it's like 11:30 and then 12. And by then I no longer get those headaches in the morning, like if you don't have a drink or food that people sometimes get. So that's one amazing way to avoid is start eating later, slowly by about 30 minutes a week. You can even do a week, not even a day, a week, whatever, just so that by the time you get to Ramadan, you're about 2-3 hours later, it takes that curve off. And obviously start changing up, if you can't do that, how light or heavy your meals are. So I start to have my lighter meals in the beginning of the day, or like I said, delay my meals. If I do have to eat, it's lighter. And then I start to have heavier meals later, getting my body ready for Ramadan. Now, here's the thing. It's not only about food, right, guys? Because the thing is, it's not just about the food. It's the fasting part that can sometimes distract us from all the amazing things we're trying to do with our spirit and our emotion. And if we allow that to keep happening, the food, the thoughts, beating ourselves up, we're never going to get to that spiritual place that we want to get to, because the physical worldly things are distracting us. So it makes perfect sense that if you prepare before, you'll have yourself ready so that when you want to do that really amazing connecting with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you'll be emotionally, psychologically, spiritually available, because the physical will not be dominating you. All right, let's go on to tip 4. For tip number 4, I thought I'd come outside because it is so beautiful and sunny, and it has been snowing so much lately, and we still have our shovels and stuff out. But yeah, one of the big things that we have a lot of times this time of year for women is we have a lot of fasts to make up, right? And so what we do is we leave them to the last minute, a'udhu billah, and then we enter Ramadan like super nervous, trying to finishing things up. Oh, I have fast to do that. And we're creating this nervous energy, and we're not welcoming Ramadan like from the beginning in a good state. So what I'm just reminding you, as I remind myself, is to make up these fasts. It's super important. And also it's the sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him, at that time he used to do more fasting to get himself ready. And so I would just say, don't leave them to the last minute, because you're going to start Ramadan on a bad foot, nervous and rushed and feeling like you didn't get to attend to yourself. And so just getting those things in now is super important. Number 1. Number 2, if you need that support right before Ramadan, we are really excited. We're about to do a 5-day challenge starting March 23rd, but you're going to be able to register before like March 15th. So if you need that support and help, do it with us. We'll have tons of fun with you. But let's get on to power move number 5. So I thought I'd end right where we started, which is to tell you about number 5, which is to go back to your goals from last year. I know it's scary. You're like, I don't want to look. I didn't make them. I had all these goals and I did not achieve them. Don't be afraid. I'm going to tell you what to do instead. So what I'm doing this time of year is I'm taking out that book where I had my goals and I'm looking at it. But I'm not beating myself up. We don't do that here. Like, women are really good. We're really good at beating ourselves up, right? So I'm not going to be beating myself up. Instead, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be looking at and asking myself, why did I not achieve it? Yes, I'm going to go there. Why did I not achieve it? Because that's where the solution lies for this year. Because we're all about like moving on, right? So why didn't I achieve it? So for example, let's say you say, I didn't achieve it because I said I was going to do like a whole juz a day, and then I realized that was too much for me. Let's say it was just even memorization. I was going to memorize like 10 pages a day, and that was so unrealistic that I just gave up, right? So maybe I have to do something with that. Number 2, maybe I said that I was going to, wake up every day and read Quran right in the beginning of the day, and then I just didn't do it. Well, why is that? Maybe I didn't put some things in place in order for that to happen within my daily schedule, that had I had done that, I would have had more success with that. Does that make sense? So the first question is, why didn't it work? Why didn't that particular goal, if you had 3, go through each one. And then next, ask yourself, what could I do instead? What could I do instead to make it better this year? And so in that, you're going to find your solution. So for example, maybe the first problem was with the juz a day, the memorization or something. My goals are unrealistic. So let me make more realistic goals. Number 2, the second one, when you're saying, okay, I was going to do something, but I never did it. Well, maybe I'm not setting myself up for success. Maybe I'm not setting my schedule a certain way so that when I enter Ramadan, my schedule is set so that could happen easily. Do you get me? It's that type of reflection that's going to get you into a better state this year than you were last. And the last thing I'll say is if you're the type of person that would love to do more of that stuff, you just need some support and help. Let's pretend you're a person who's like, I totally want to reach my goals, but I need motivation. I'm kind of lacking it, or I need somebody to guide me through every step. So after I make it, then what? Then how do I keep my schedule? How do I set my morning routine, my evening routine? How do I follow up my goals? How do I tweak my goals? Like, you just want like a little hand holding. I get it. We're going to have an awesome mentorship program this year. I'm going to come on probably live like 5 times, once a week. I think the first week I come on 2 times and push you through all of that. I'm going to like open up my personal journal and show you everything how I do it. And then I'm going to open the floor to take all your personal questions and talk to me live. And we're just going to hash it out with tons of other sisters like you and support. This is the first time we're doing it this way. I'm super excited. The second thing is, if it's not just the goal making, if you're just like craving community, you want to be alone this Ramadan, you feel like you want something exciting to do every day to push you and motivate you, really excited, because if you're already inside of our international membership, Thrive Muslima, you're going to get access to this anyway. But if you're not in, you have an invite for me now to come in. We're going to have 24 plus live events where like basically almost every day you come in, there's a different speaker or somebody to motivate you. It's meant for people who are all levels of faith. If you're a revert, if you're a born Muslim, it really doesn't matter. We are totally in it. We understand all those situations. We're even going to have a live virtual Eid because we know so many people have no one to celebrate Eid with and stuff like that. So it's going to be fun, give away tons of prizes and so much community support, so many resources. So you are welcome to come on in with us. You don't have to be alone. And then also if you want some like personalized goal setting and pushing along for you in your life to change where you are, you want to finally reach the best version of yourself, I'm going to do the mentorship. You're more than welcome. All right. So I hope these 5 things really helped you. For those of you who I know are going to ask me already, if you want to get into Thrive Muslima, I'll put the link below so you can get in from now and you can get into the whole Ramadan program. And then also the mentorship will be coming out soon. And we're going to have a 5-day challenge. Like I said, that's going to be super fun. We have tons of stuff to pump you guys along, but you just have to put in your mind, I make the intention, Ya Rab, help me to have the best Ramadan yet. And may all of us live to see Ramadan. We don't know if we'll be here tomorrow. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to leave Ramadan better than we entered it. But that starts with you. That starts with me making the intention and taking action. So there are some links below if you want support, and I will see you in the next video.